move to the next stage of our market access session, which is the panel discussion. Okay, so I'm going to invite the panelists, and I'll start with, I think, ladies first. I'm going to start with the lady on the first lady on the list, and her name is Mrs Oreoluwa of Investment. She's the MD Investment One Bank Capital Limited. Can some Bank Cap Limited can please provide a round of applause as she comes up. Mr. Shino, I think I was standing with him earlier on his way around. Mr. Shino. Next person on our list is Mr. Lucas Dada. Lucas is not here, so Bidemi is going to represent. So my very good friend, Mr. Bidemi Ladipo, is the HOD or Head Enterprise Solutions for Etisalat. So a round of applause for Bidemi. As it comes. DJ, you don't have any Etisalat music you can play in the background as it comes up, you know, all those catchy songs from Mola or something. It's Wale, next time you need to get a DJ here. Music is not. Alright, cool. So the last but not the least person on this list is Director for Innovation and New Initiatives. It's a long job title. It has to be a big man. Mr. Rashid Salau of CWL. Can we give him a round of applause, please? So Rashid, your job title is now, wow, is this how your salary is as well? Director, Innovation and New Initiative. Thank you very much for coming. And to moderate this, sorry, do we have a speaker for this microphone? For the, okay, they're bringing it. Okay, all right. So to moderate, we have Mr. Wale Anifowose, like we all know, is our SME Archangel. Thank you very much.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so we have this wonderful panel, and what we're going to be doing in the next 20 minutes, basically, is to find out from these large businesses how, in their operations, how they basically support small and medium enterprises to access the market. I think what I would do is I'm going to move around a bit because I think they're trying to get batteries for the rest of the microphones. But I will start with my man from Computer Warehouse Group with the long title to share with us. I mean, there's quite a number of things that you do with technology. But how do you help small businesses to access markets?
Okay, thank you. To start with, I don't have a long title. Basically, what we're talking about is innovation, basically. I've heard a lot of speakers talk today about the challenges we have as SME. First, I would say government don't create business. It's the SME that creates business, that creates growth. So SME is the backbone of any economy. And so if SME is the backbone of any economy, SME is the actual platform to stimulate socio-economic transformation of any country in the world. Now, what are the issues that we've had as SMEs? I've seen statistics that 80% of SMEs die within 5 years. Why is this so? The simple question is, I have two issues. The first one is access to finance, access to fund. The second issue is access to market. So I'll just talk about those two issues. First, let's look at it today. There has been so many interventions from governments. Recently, there's a 220 billion intervention from CBN to give loans to small and medium enterprises. Most of these funds are through commercial banks. But the question is, how many of the SMEs today have had access to that fund? The question is, no lender will give loans out when you don't have proper documentation. That's the first problem. No banker will give you loans to move your business up without proper documentation, without transparency. And so that's the first problem. And the only solution to this is IT. What we've done in Computer Warehouse to solve the problem is that we've created a platform for you to enable you keep your records for inventory management, for accounting. One of the requirements to get loan, if you go to bank and industry, for example, is you need to have 3 audited accounts. To any bank, you need to have audited accounts. So how do you get that? So what we've done is to create this platform that allows you to keep your inventory, allows you to even to know your customers, customer relationship management, a system that allows you to keep your resources. But the question is, by the time you have proper records and the people that want to give you loans and want to give you grants have access to that information, it's transparent enough, then they can do business with you. That's one of the solutions. Now, there's another solution. Today, I'll take myself as an example. My wife has one shop somewhere. I'm just single shop. So the question is, we've talked about it just before the solution came. How do you ensure that you have your shops in 36 states of the Federation and beyond? That's the big question. But let me tell you today that we have a platform that gives you this access, because you need to start thinking about moving your platform from a physical location to an online platform. That is the solution. So people don't talk about physical shops again, but we talk about online shops and e-commerce solution. And what we have also done, because we're talking to SMEs there, what we've also done is that we've made it a subscription base, that all you need to do is just to pay for the rent as you move ahead. So you have your shops and you don't need to worry about, now I'm going to sell goods, how am I going to do the logistics? We've integrated with logistic companies to take care of your logistics. Think about it. So many times I'm looking for things to buy, but I don't even know where to get it. So it's easier for me as a buyer to go online and search for what I'm looking for. And so if you're not present online, how will people that want to buy from you get this information from you? So our job at Computer Warehouse is to create platform to enable growth, to enable business. And those are the kind of platforms that we have in CWG.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to go very quickly to Mr. Bidemi Ladipo. Etisalat is clearly doing a few things to support SMEs. You had talked about access to finance being one of the problems that small businesses face. And Etisalat is, in their own innovative way, trying to somehow provide some seed capital that helps small businesses to get access to some of the equipment, in some cases, that they need to be able to grow the business. But beyond this, what are those other things that Etisalat Nigeria is doing to support small and medium-scale businesses in Nigeria?
Okay, I would just like to take this. I would start from 2 points that I mentioned earlier about some of the solutions they are providing. I talked about cloud services and online business. I'd like to say that everyone who's here today has the opportunity to reach out to millions of Nigerians at home and abroad by taking your businesses online. You're no longer limited to the walls of your local shop, or you don't only have to sell to people on your street. You can sell to people outside. And that is why the idea of the online platform is very good. The idea of the cloud is also very good. And I would like to say that in support of all of this, what we have done at Etisalat is to create specific solutions for businesses. The Easy Business platform that we talked about earlier. You have your voice solutions. So if you're a business person and you have to talk to customers, you need an efficient line that works. You need one that is affordable. You also need to talk to your colleagues in order to be efficient. You need a package that saves you money. You also need to be in control of your cost. which is why that is a business package with 1,000 naira, for example, in a month. You can talk for as long as you want with your colleagues, and you can be sure that your business runs. Regardless of how much you make, talking to your colleagues, talking to people around, and putting down 1,000 naira, regardless of how much you actually make, that is the only cost you have to think of when it comes to voice. The same way, we also provide internet solutions. And with our internet solutions, that enables you to be able to connect to the world, connect to anywhere. An example we gave earlier was some of the people who won the grants that we gave in the Easy Business Millionaire Zones. One of them got a call from Germany where he was meant to come and pitch. I mean, not to pitch, but to actually talk to them about what he's doing in that online printing space. There were so many printers in the market, but he took his printing business online. So you can order your print from anywhere you are, and it gets delivered within a very short time. You don't have to leave your house. You can design it, you can do everything, and it gets delivered. He has taken his business online. But these online businesses are all powered by internet service, which Etisalat provides. So we're actually providing internet solutions for you. There's what we call the Easy Business SME Shared Data. And what is unique about Easy Business SME Shared Data? You are again concerned about cost. So what have we done? We've decided to give a solution that enables you as a business owner or as the administrator within the business to decide what you allocate to everybody within your business. So you can say, you need only this amount of data, I allocate this to you, and that is what you use. You can allocate to as many as 30 people what you want. Also, there's an ongoing promotional offer that we have on that at the moment, where if you subscribe to this package, you also get a router free. Those routers cost a lot, but you get them free if you subscribe now to those packages on the Easy Business SME Shared Data. The whole idea is just to make business easy for everyone who is starting small. So I would just like to say that in terms of providing access to market, that is what we're doing, providing that internet access that gives you the opportunity to be able to reach out to the world. Put your business out there, let people be able to reach you from everywhere. Get that data service from Etisalat today. In order to be able to connect, you also have your Easy Business voice lines. That's in terms of trying to keep it very, very simple. In terms of access to finance as well, these are some of the things we try to do with the Millionaire Zones, where we train at least 50 people the year before. This year, we've trained another 50 people. And now they're able to pitch their businesses to even get more than the 2 million naira we gave. So in giving 2 million naira, I remember at that time last year, I said to those people that we're giving you 2 million naira today. What we look forward to seeing is that 2 million naira becoming 20 million naira and then becoming 200 million naira within a short time. And a lot of them just clapped and they didn't know the power in what I was saying. But a year down the line, a lot of them are talking about the fact that they went ahead to pitch their businesses to other people. They got 8 million naira, got finance in dollars. One of them announced the fact that he got a 6-digit financing, from Silicon Valley. He only started his business a year ago. So like I said earlier, everyone in here has the potential in them to actually grow big. And that is what we want to support and we want to encourage at Etisalat. And that's why you have to be on the Easy Business package. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bidemi. Okay, so Cornerstone, I'm sure everyone here is wondering, how does insurance help me to get access to the market? I know insurance is very critical to small businesses, but at Cornerstone, what are those things that you're doing to, first of all, support small businesses and then also helping them to get access to the market?
Thank you. All of us here know that risk is part of life. We face risks daily. We talked about the speakers that spoke earlier, talked about great things that we need to do. Things that, in terms of taking care of our staff, ensuring that we create a great place to work. But at the end of the day, we find out that there are some things that are beyond us. You know, you can have the best staff, you can have everything going for you, but at the end of the day, you find out that there are some things that are beyond you, and that's why Cornerstone comes in. I'm sure most of us here are aware of what recently happened 3 days ago in Lagos, where a business was affected by fire incident. When the man woke up that day, he never prayed for fire incident. And all of us here were daily faced with challenges, things that we never planned for, things that we felt that we were planning to make profits in a year, we're planning to make things happen for our businesses. But at the end of the day, we find out that some things will interrupt those plans. So that's why Cornerstone is here for you. We've been in business for over 24 years, and we have a special package that supports SMEs, and we call that package CBAC. That's Business Assured Cover. That is to ensure that your business continues. There's continuity in your business, and it comes at affordable cost. The premium is very low. It's a total package that ensures that all the risks that you are daily faced with are being carried or transferred to Cornerstone, such that you will be able to make more profit. You'll be able to build that organization that you really want. This CBAC cover embeds a fire cover, life insurance cover, burglary insurance, public liability, so all embedded in one. And at the end of the day, the cover is cheaper than what you would have ordinarily bought, you know, because you can have different covers, burglary, fire, and different kinds of cover. But all of them are embedded in one, which we call CBAC, such that you pay a cheap rate. So this is to support the SME. So, and apart from that, we also have online presence in Cornerstone. We ensure that you can purchase our insurance cover within 5 minutes. We talked about the fact that finance is a major factor why most SMEs don't survive. But risk management is actually a major part of it. Because you can have access to finance, but if your risk is not well managed, is not properly managed, you find that at the end of the day, that business will not be able to survive. So Cornerstone is there for you to ensure that you have that risk transfer to us, and then you go to sleep. You can make more profit, your company can be sustainable, and then you can hand it over to from generation to generation. As researchers have also revealed, most companies in Nigeria don't actually live to generations. They're not being handed down from generation to generation. Only a few companies have done that. Maybe the likes of the FGN, Okoye and Sons, and some other few companies that we have. But this, because of the lack of risk management or not adapting risk management principles, so that's one of the reasons why people don't do it. So I encourage all of us to look at how we can embrace our CBAC for this SME and also some of our other products. And this is how we support the SME and other things, so that your cost is cheaper. At the end of the day, you are protected and you can go to sleep.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, now we've had 3 of our panelists talk about access to finance being one of the major issues that small businesses face. And indeed, in a recent research that was carried out by the Enterprise Development Center and KPMG, this also was highlighted that access to finance really indeed is one of the top 3 impediments or challenges that small businesses go. Now, Ore, at Investment One Venture, what are some of those things that you're doing to provide access to finance and also helping small businesses to get access to the market?
Okay, thank you, Wale. Investment One Vencap is a venture capital company that's focused on SME at the very early stage or growth SMEs. And what that means is that we provide financing for SMEs, but we don't offer debt. We don't do loans. What we do is that we look at different businesses and we'll offer equity. Equity financing is relatively new in Nigeria. I think one of the panelists mentioned that somebody that did win the Etisalat competition got 6-digit figure from Silicon Valley. And most times what Silicon Valley does is to offer equity in exchange. They offer finance in exchange for shares in a company. So if your company is not well structured or with a clear shareholding, it's very difficult for venture capitalists to be able to take any equity in your company. So, what we do is that we encourage businesses in Nigeria to, rather than just run with a business name, you need to have an entity that has a limited liability, so that it's clear what your shareholding structure is like, and that anybody that now wants to take an equity position in your company can do so clearly. You're protected as well as the investor is protected. And I think the gentleman from Cornerstone mentioned risk. When you give equity in your company, that means that the person owns part of your company, the person shares the risk in your company, rather than when you just take a loan. If you take a loan, what the person just wants is for you to repay. But when you take an equity investor, the person is actually interested in making sure that all the milestones for growth that are set for your company work. And the exit is what most people worry about. They worry about when you give equity in your company, the person will now take over your company. But you need to make sure that your legal contract is well structured so that the exit is clear at the point of entry. At Investment One Vencap, we want to invest in many businesses. We don't want to be in a business forever. But we will work with SMEs for between 3 to 7 years, grow your business, and from day one, it will be clear what the exit plan is. And as long as your business is meeting all the milestones, it becomes easier to see what is the end point and when is the right exit. And if the business grows fast enough, then you'll be able to hit those exits and those milestones much faster. And by then, you may even decide that you don't even want to own 100% of your company anymore because the company has grown so large. We might be the next person that's going to list on the stock exchange or even become as big as Dangote. So we're in business to make sure that small businesses in Nigeria grow, and they don't just grow from being an employer of 2 or 3 people to be employers of several hundreds of millions of people, because there's a lot of unemployment among the youth in Nigeria. So that is our main focus at Investment One Vencap.
I didn't hear anything about professional indemnity insurance, which, as you know, if I'm going to do any job for an Etisalat, they will ask me to bring a professional indemnity insurance. And more often than not, they are not going to give me money ahead of time to do that job. And as a small business, procuring a PI, professional indemnity insurance, for maybe a job of 10 million naira, will require me bringing at least half of that money, maybe in premium terms, to cover that kind of cover, to provide that kind of cover. What are you going to do in that regard? Putting into consideration the fact that we are talking about small businesses here, assisting them gain access to markets and finances. Thank you.
I heard what the panelist said, fantastic. But I didn't hear anything about crowdfunding, which is another fantastic way of raising funds. Because the English in Nigeria is always sweet. They speak a lot of English sometimes, and then at the end of the day, we the small business owners leave this room and we still come back to 1.0. So I'm saying that possibly you can shed more light on crowdfunding, so young people can understand that we can help ourselves in our own little cell and space. That we don't have to wait for an Etisalat to get funds sometimes. That if we can just get 1,000 people or 100 people around me to give me 10,000, possibly I can start something. Maybe possibly my business can be on the way without waiting for an Etisalat, without waiting for an Investment One, without waiting for, Why I say that is because sometimes another thing that stop entrepreneurs or small business owners is knowledge. So say for example, we've spoken about developing business document, business intelligence instrument and the likes, but a lot of us don't even know how to write a business plan. So if I don't know how to write a business plan, I can't come to an investment one. Except I now come there, except you cannot help me put one or two things together. So I think in our own, I don't know how to put this better, but in our own little space, you can shed more light on crowdfunding. And possibly that can also be another way or a leeway for entrepreneurs to be able to help one another. And maybe some other things as we go on. Just shed more light on crowdfunding.
I want to ask, do you need to, what are the requirements to get this equity funding from the company? Are you going to establish relationship with the company over time to study them? Or like somebody asked, is there will be business plans, looking at the records and books? Basically, what do you look for? And if you are going to fund a business, what are the things, what are the key indicators? Thank you.
I actually like to say that crowdfunding is not very new in Nigeria, because much earlier people used to do a susu, which is you get monies and people you know, they'll put money together. Every month one person collects it, uses it for his business, and then you keep things like that. So that was the traditional way of funding business. So, but now when you think about crowdfunding, we now have entities or persons that don't know each other, and then the element of trust comes in there. When crowdfunding started, it was usually made for a physical product. For example, somebody is making, I think there's a lady here that was making juice, or somebody is trying to make a certain product. So if people are interested in that product, they put the money, and such that when that product comes to fruition, they get something back. So crowdfunding becomes a little more different or difficult when you don't have a physical product that you can offer. If you're building a website or an online platform, are you now going to tell everybody that invests, I will give you X% of your company? You know, those are some of the challenges. And then where is the trust? People now start asking you, where is the legal document that assures me that I will get X, Y, Z, because that's what you said. And then if that product fails for any reason, then it becomes even more difficult. But I know that the regulatory agencies are looking at crowdfunding. They're looking at it very hard, because they also want easier ways of financing business. So that's my take on crowdfunding. When you look at what do you require for equity, I've said that you need to make sure that your business is well structured. That means you must have a business. One of the comments we heard earlier from Computer Warehouse Group is that you need to have some sort of records, and there has to be transparency in the business. You don't get equity by walking up to Investment One, Vencap, Day One, and then we write a piece of paper and give you money. No. The character of the individual is very important. Entrepreneurship is hard work. We want to make sure that no matter the obstacles, the entrepreneur is in need for the long haul. It's not that, oh, I have a little problem, I haven't been able to get my goods into ShopRite, I'm giving up, I'm going to go look for a job. So character is very important. We also want to make sure that you do have some skin in the game. Some of your own money, some of your own time has gone into the business. We look at the scalability of your business and the sustainability. Can your business make money? A lot of people have ideas, but when you look at the plan, it's like you're not really going to make much money doing this. So those are some of the things that we'll look at when people approach us. And we don't only give money, we do capacity building. EDC does a lot of training for entrepreneurs, but when people come to us, we will also sit down with them. So even if you don't have a full business plan, you have an idea, we are willing to sit with you and look at your concept if it makes sense, and then give you some key pointers onto what you need to put into your business plan. But we will not write the plan for you. And there's one reason why we will not write your plan for you. It's because your business plan should be your document that you need to follow for all the milestones that, at least for now, you can see. If somebody else writes your business plan, it may not be exactly your own ideas and your own milestone. So it's really important that even if you want to give somebody else your business plan, make sure those are the things you believe you can do. Make sure that your market research, you believe in that market. Your competitors are key. if you're looking at selling something, you may not think that Richard Card or online music is your competitor, but that's the share of wallet, as they call it, for the person. It's how much money I have that I can spend. So just think about everything the person uses money for. Those are your competitors. So you must think about that as you're trying to develop your business. We also like to tell people that, I think as the example from the Etisalat case, just because you're new to the business or new to a certain space does not mean that you cannot be successful. But what are you going to do differently? You know, that differentiation, that innovation that you're bringing to the game is key. So those are some of the elements we look at when we're thinking about equity funding.
Thank you very much, all right. So the second question on professional indemnity goes to Cornerstone.
Thank you very much for the question. So it's a specific policy for professionals like accountants, like lawyers, etc., etc. So to guarantee, you know, the kind of job you want to do, you know, the advice you want to give. For example, an accountant might want to give an advice, and then that advice, in case it leads to a loss of income or loss of money for some individual, or it causes something. So insurance company provides that cover. So in Cornerstone, we provide such cover. But like I said at the beginning, you know, for our flagship product for this for the SME is the CPAP, which was based on research that we did. You know, looking at the challenges SMEs face in terms of maybe the fire to their property, or even a fire cover covers you in case you have rent to pay and there's a fire in that building where you occupy. So the loss of that rent, you know, when you're moving, or as a result of that fire, you need to move to another location. So the unused rent will be paid by Cornerstone as a result of that fire. So those are the kind of cover we look at, because we look at the fact that if as SMEs, more finance is very critical to your operations. So any small amount of money actually matters to that business. So even your rent, you might not be able to pay the rent if there's a fire incident. So we provide us that kind of cover. Then maybe as a sort of injury to people that come into the building as well, occupiers' liability is also protected, you know, it's covered. So for professional indemnity cover, we provide it. The rate is 1% of what you are providing. It's not expensive. It's just 1%. So let's assume you have a cover of 1 million naira. So it's 1% of that 1 million naira. That's
okay. So
find out the visibility you have given or you plan to give to your platform. By the time you compare your platform to PayPod, Conga or Jumia, yes, I would love to enlist my product on your platform, but what visibility am I going to have? For instance, maybe on a Conga, I could sell 20 packs in a day, and compared to your platform, maybe I wouldn't sell more than 2, you know, because you see your dollar and grow well. Second question. Hello? Sorry, the second question is to Cornerstone. I would like to find out if you have any product for farmers. I reckon that this is Nike stuff, but do you plan to do something in that space very soon, as this is a strategic sector for the economy? Thank you.
Okay, so the other platforms we have in place, like Conga and the rest, what you do is you take your products to them, and so nobody knows you. What you know is, you know, Conga. So our platform is different. Our platform is that we present you to the public. So we have a platform that you create your own shop, your own store yourself, and it's customized to you. For example, my name is Rashid, so I can create my shop as rashid.ng. So when people are looking for anything that I sell, they see me directly. And so what we have also done is we have created a marketplace where all the products for all the other people, all the merchants that are on our platform are aggregated. So it's openmall.ng, where all the products are aggregated. So if you're searching for any products, you go to the site, you see the product, and it takes you directly to the shop owner. And so, because that is a response to the traffic that you talk about, we've looked at it that everybody, the shop owners, has to do the marketing themselves. Today we talk about digital marketing. I'm sure everybody here has access to phone, your Twitter, your Facebook, your all the social media platforms. What we've done is to link all our solutions to all these platforms. So when you create your store, you are also directly linked. You can do direct advertisement on your platform. Now, what we have also done is we're also going to do the marketing for you. We're going to take part of the marketing for you as well. So what is going to happen is you're going to create your store, and your store will be your name, and you can do direct marketing yourself. If you want to open the store, it's a 3-step approach. Just go to OpenShopping, www.openshopping.ng, and in 3 steps away, you have your store created already. Our guys will have support team that will enable you to upload your goods and services and help you create a nice looking site for you. Thank you.
Thank you. You asked a question about Greek insurance and also about consequential loss insurance. On agric insurance, we haven't started issuing agric insurance products as cornerstone because previously NAIC was the sole insurance company. That's the Nigerian Agricultural Insurance Company. It's the sole company, authorized in Nigeria to issue agric insurance. But recently it has been democratized, let me put it that way. And so any insurance company can actually issue an agric insurance product at the moment. So we are at the point where we are approaching the regulator to get the approval to offer it. But for maybe implements, maybe there are tractors and other implements, we offer insurance product for those. And also for the farm implements, farm tools, we offer insurance for them. It's only the livestock that we haven't started insuring insurance for. So then in the short while, we'll start insuring insurance for those. So for consequential loss, you asked a question about the loss of revenue as a result of fire. That is called consequential loss insurance. It's usually, that cover is usually for big organizations, companies like Coca-Cola, companies, all those big organizations, because as a result of fire, there are some costs that are static that you have to bear. For example, your audit fees, you have to pay your audit fees every year. You have to pay salary, and then you have to pay wages. So those things are static and you have to pay them. So insurance pays those at the time of the fire incident. So but it's something that we can provide for SME. But usually the price is for loss of profit is a bit high in terms of the rating. And then apart from that, the people, my co-speakers talked about the issue of documentation for SMEs. That's really one major issue that could be a problem at the time of claim. Because if you don't have the right documents, if your documentations are not right, you don't have good accounting practices and all those, so you might have challenges at the point of claim. Because most SMEs, for example, might not even have payroll. So you might not have the right payrolls, and you need those to document your claim. So at the point of claim. So we provide it, but we need to check your records to be sure that your records are okay, so that at the point of claim, there will be no stories. Because one major problem that insurance companies have had in Nigeria is the issue of trust. most people don't trust insurance companies. And before I came on stage, I was talking to the person sitting beside me, and I said, really, the problem we have is the lack of education, not even trust, because insurance companies continue to pay claims on a daily basis. So it's just because insurance is technical. You know, people don't really understand what insurance means. So at the point of selling, so it's our responsibility as insurance people to educate people about what they are going to, you know, the kind of contracts we are going to, because insurance is a contract. So we need to understand that. So we need to understand what are the terms of those contracts. So if you are not familiar with those contracts, it might be difficult for you to be able to get your claim. But you know, the beauty of it is that in my company, at the point of selling, we make sure that you are aware of what we are selling to you. So if you are not even satisfied at the point of sale, we can refund your money, so that at the point of claim, there will not be any problem. Because we value our brand identity so much. So we value our brand, and we don't want anything that will, you know, diminish our brand. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So in rounding up, I have two questions. One for Etisalat and one for investment, one cap. So the first question goes to Etisalat. Should SMEs here today be looking forward to, in the future, the opportunity to get a chance at the 2 million naira grant from Easy Business? Or is it just Easy Business 1 and 2 and full stop?
Okay, the same question you asked, I think one or two people had asked me. Season 1 of Millionaires Hunt was a success. Season 2 was even a bigger success. So we are likely to do the same thing next year, maybe even in a bigger fashion, because the whole idea is to be able to influence more businesses to even grow bigger. I mean, if we can do it, then every business in Nigeria can do it. And we're always glad to actually support businesses. In short, what I am saying is, if we are going to do it, those on the Easy Business package will be the first to know. So you have to get onto the Easy Business package. You have to get onto Etisalat and get onto the right package for business, which means get onto Etisalat and make sure you're subscribed to the Easy Business package, and you will always be the first to know about all our business activities, be it the Easy Business Millionaires Hunt competition, be it market access, be it any kind of solution we have for business. You will always be the first to know. Even before we advertise in the papers, before any other person gets to know, you would always be the first to know. So definitely, once we are about to start the next season of Easy Business Millionaires Hunt, those on that package will be the first to know. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much, Bidemi. And my question to Ore. Now, one of the things that I hear small business owners talk about when it comes to venture capital is exit strategy. Can you shed some light on this? What is the plan if you put equity in my business? At what point do you exit?
I think I mentioned a little bit about it earlier, that exit strategy or exiting, or the lack of exit by a venture capitalist is what most people worry about. And for us at VenCap, we are taking a slightly different approach, that we don't want to own your business forever. So we agree on what are the milestones that the business has to reach. If you have a fund that's only set up for 7 years, by year 6, everyone is looking for ways to exit a business. So there are different ways of doing an exit. One, you can sell back to the owner. But before the owner can buy out a venture capitalist, he must have built a business that is bankable. So he or she can go to a bank and take out a loan to buy out the venture capitalist. Another way is for the venture capitalist to sell it to somebody else, sell that stake to somebody else. So because there's sometimes, like, we're very early stage, we'll invest between 10 million and 100 million in a company. But there are other venture capital firms that start from $2 million, some start from $5 million. So there are companies that look at that will make larger investments. So when a company gets too big for follow-on investment for us, we may recommend that you look at somebody else, or we'll help solicit for somebody else to take us out. Another way is by listing. The Nigerian Stock Exchange is trying to encourage companies that have good track record, financials for I think 3 years, and are profitable, to list on what they call the ASEM, which is the smaller board of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. At Investment One, we have an advisory division that can advise you on if you want to list. So listing is easier, and it's not as difficult as it used to be, and even small companies can list. So those are some of the exit strategies that I think would work in Nigeria.
Okay, thank you so much. We've come to the end of this session. Please put your hands together for the panelists. I think they did a very good job. Okay, thank you very much for listening to us. Thank you so much.